Hello friends, I'm Steve and this is my sister Jeannie.
Hello.
We are descendants from Polish people. Our grandfather specifically came to America, we think, in 1907, and he settled in the Cleveland, Ohio area. He married our grandmother, a fine woman from Star Junction, Pennsylvania, who was also of Polish descent. And we grew up in Oklahoma, as you can tell by the Oklahoma and Oklahoma State shirts. That's where our loyalties lie as far as college football.
Bedlam winners.
Well, we won the other 105 of them, so. Anyway, we went to Cleveland, living in Oklahoma. We went to Cleveland at least 3 times as family all together. And when we were there, our grandmother would make kielbasa, Polish sausage. And even though we really only had it 3 times in our lives, that taste was so good and immensely pleasurable that we remember it. And in the past few decades, or the last 2 decades, we've been trying to replicate her recipe. We started in 2007 about, and it was a big failure. And then 2015 we tried again, got a little closer. 2016, the 3rd time, got a little closer. The 4th time in 2017, that was really close. And we are going to do this for the 5th time, and hopefully we're going to hit that recipe and get that taste that we enjoyed so much as kids. So we're going to take you through the process of how we make this sausage. All the ingredients, all the tools you need, and all the steps you need to take to achieve Polish Imperium
Authentic
taste food.
sausage. Yeah.
Sausage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to edit that part up. Please like and subscribe and hit the notifications bell. Let's get started.
All right, we're going to double this recipe. The first thing is 25 feet of sausage casing. We're going to do 1.5 pounds of pork fat, 2 pounds of chuck beef, 2 pounds of pork butt, but the butcher didn't have it, so we are using boneless pork chops. He said that would be the same fat to meat ratio. Then we're going to use 7 cloves of garlic, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 4 teaspoons of salt, 3 teaspoons of ground pepper, 2 teaspoons of marjoram, 2 teaspoons allspice, and a 1/2 cup of cold water. How we're going to do this is we're going to grind the meats and fat together. We're going to combine the meat mix and spices and the water. We'll load the mixture into casings. Each piece we're going to roughly make 6 inches. And then we're going to twist to seal the casing ends and then tie a knot in the beginning end. And then what you do is you boil the links inside a Ziploc bag for 5 minutes, then turn the heat down and simmer for 25. And then we will pull them out and we will brown them in a cast iron skillet. And then we will be done.
All right, let's get to it.
All right, I'm ready. The first step is put on some gloves because you're going to be handling meat. And once we get that done, then the next step will be to sharpen your knives because a dull knife is a safety hazard. You always want to use a sharp knife when you're in the kitchen preparing food.
Snap broke.
So you always sharpen your knife right before you try to cook. And I always take it and just kind of rinse it off in the sink before I actually cut the meat with it.
So as not to get any metal shavings in our dinner.
Right.
We need to cut up our meat and our fat. The beef chuck is already ground, so we won't have to cut that up. But we need to cut it up into pieces that will fit inside this hole. This will go on top of the grinder. So we're looking at about 1.5 inches in diameter hole. We spent about 3.5 hours driving around trying to get all the ingredients. We normally get the casings from a butcher just right up the road, but they stopped making sausage for some reason, so they didn't have any casings.
But we found casings at Academy.
Yeah, they are preserved in salt, and they're in some kind of a vacuum bag like this. And I don't know how much that's going to affect the taste.
Yeah, we'll test it though, right?
Yeah, we're going to test it out. And of course, you know, living in Oklahoma, there's not a lot of Polish people here. So we really don't have that ethnic advantage of maybe people back east. In fact, the only Polish restaurant in the state, we only had one. And it closed down a couple of years ago. And it was 60, 70, 80 miles away from Oklahoma City. And so I'm sure people in other cities would easily find butcher shops that sell casing and all the meat and ingredients that go into this. And you could probably get quite a bit of Polish sausage made by them as well. But that's not our case. And I mean authentic kielbasa, not that Hillshire farm that you would buy in the grocery store, because that kielbasa is nothing like my grandmother's. So this is the Krupp's meat grinder, model 402. There will not be a link in description. I bought this in the early 2000s. I don't know if it's even available anymore. But anyway, what you need to do is whenever you preserve your parts after you've used it, you want to put them in a bag and put in some cooking oil, and for the metal parts anyway, so that they don't rust. So this is a easy way. What you do is you'll take this piece, the feeder tube, and just put it in there and turn it counterclockwise. This is the auger. So we're going to put the auger in. It just slides in there. And because we're going to be cutting up some meat, we need to put in a blade that will cut it up. So we're going to put that on first. And we got some garbage there. I'm going to clean that up first. A little paper towel, wipe that off. Put the auger back in. Put the blade in, and you'll put it in thusly where it's going to rotate to the clockwise. It's going to rotate to the counterclockwise direction. So you want to put it on where the blades are turning towards that, in that direction. Nope. Yeah, it's the curved part of the blades. So you're going to put it with, so you got that piece where you got that indentation. So put the curved part coming out. Is that right? Let me see. I don't think that's right. You put it on like this. Yeah, but according to the directions, I want to put the blade like this. And then I'm using the coarse grinding disc. It's the coarse grinding disc. Just place that on there. You see it's got two little wings, so it's going to go into those little gaps right there in this pipe. Put in the nut, it's going to lock it all down. That. And then the next piece is put this on top, and this is where we're going to put the meat in, then we're going to use this plunger to push the meat through the machine and it'll come out. Now this crux is pretty low, so we're going to have to get a baking tray to catch all the meat. So it turns out I had the blade on backwards. There's supposed to be an X on the blade that you face outward, but there was no X on the blade. So we're back to grinding. Beef, a little pork, throwing some fat, a little beef. And there you have the last bit. This took us about 20 minutes to accomplish. Next step is we're going to season the meat and mix it in a KitchenAid mixing bowl. Because our mixing bowl isn't quite big enough to handle this big pile, we're going to split this in half. Oh, that feels so good. Yeah, maybe we ought to edit that out.
I'm trying to break this garlic up so we can put it through the garlic press.
Ah, so that's fresh garlic.
Fresh garlic.
Nice.
I'm trimming and peeling the garlic.
So we got 7 cloves and we got 2 piles. So we're going to do roughly 3.5 garlic cloves for each pile.
And I learned a trick from Martha Stewart.
Oh yeah? What's that?
That to get the smell of garlic off your fingers, you take a sterling silver knife, and I'll try it, see if it works. She said to rub your fingers over under running water. So I'm going to try it, see if it works. And she says it removes the garlic smell from your fingers. I don't know why. We're going to try it.
I can't believe you have a sterling silver knife.
Well, it's probably not, so it probably won't work.
Yeah, it's stainless steel.
Oh my gosh, it worked.
All right.
Stainless steel.
So we poor people can do it too.
Oh wow, yeah. I'm amazed.
Of course, I don't know why anybody would want garlic not on their fingers, so.
Yeah.
All right, this is the, what do you call this?
Garlic press.
Garlic press.
And your garlic goes in here.
Goes in there.
And you close the handle.
Just turn that over like that.
And then squeeze.
And squeeze it out.
And then you take a little knife. Let me get this one over here. Right, and then you just scrape it out. Scrape it from that part, yeah.
Do it again?
Yeah.
There's still a bunch in there.
Yeah. Or no, flip it and see those spokes?
Oh, yeah, the spokes.
Yeah.
That pushes it back the other way.
Yeah.
And then out again.
Yeah. Well, just get as much as you can. There you go.
Quite a bit. Just gonna rearrange
Any little
that.
pieces like that, we'll just throw those away. You know, if it's part of the tough skin part that's still on
Yeah, so you
there.
can see it's just sticking out there. Alright, so we did the 7 garlic cloves in roughly equal piles for our roughly equal piles.
Now we're going to put this into the hand mixer. And then go ahead and put this garlic in. I'll have my gloves on.
One pile.
Yeah, I'm just kind of spread it around in there. Then I'm going to take my gloves off so I can measure. We're going to use a half teaspoon of garlic powder. Okay. Half teaspoon of garlic powder. 2 teaspoons of salt.
You just spread that around in the bowl.
Yeah. 1.5 teaspoons of pepper.
Is that ground pepper?
Yes. There's 1.5. And then we're going to do 1 teaspoon of marjoram. Okay. And 1 teaspoon of allspice. And a half cup of cold water, which I had put an ice cube in it to get it cold. And then you take the ice cubes out. And then I adjusted the measurement to be a half cup.
Perfect.
Alright.
Those are all the ingredients for a normal load. Since we're doing 2, we're doing half the ingredients for this pile and another half for that pile.
Sure. I'm going to stop it and scrape off the paddle.
So that was about 1 minute.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that all the seasoning gets around
And
everything.
that mixer has that big paddle implement on it.
Alright, that should be good. I can smell it. It smells wonderful.
It does.
Then we'll just scrape off all this. Mix the other batch. Looky there.
Yeah, that looks very white. They call it white sausage. I'm not sure what the Polish name is for it. Can't think of it right now. As if I would know it. But yeah, you can tell. You know, it's a bit whiter after it gets mixed up.
1 teaspoon of marjoram.
And you gotta rub that on your hands before you put it in this one.
Oh, I can.
Yeah. And see if that makes a difference when you compare the 2 batches. Rub, rub, rub. It's supposed to bring out the flavor if you do this, I've been told by someone on YouTube.
Okay.
How much was that?
1 teaspoon.
Engage. So we couldn't find any butcher in our area that had sausage casings available. So we had to go to a sporting goods store and buy these that are normally used for people processing deer. They're soaked in salt, preserved in salt, so we're gonna have to rinse them out, and this will take 30 minutes or so. We started at about 1 p.m., so we're at 2:25 right now at this point in the process. And Merry Christmas. Alright, so while we're getting the casings ready, we're going to taste test these. So we're going to put these in the frying pan, little dabs. We're going to do from the margarine where we crumbled with our hands, and then one where we just poured the margarine right in. And I got the heat turned to just below medium right there. This is a propane stove, and that flame is pretty darn high.
It's not a propane, it's gas.
It's not a propane stove, it's a gas. So I'll have to edit that out too.
Alright, this one is the hand roll?
Hand rolled margarine.
The hand rolled. Very good.
All right.
Right? This one is the just sprinkled.
Sprinkled marjoram.
A little bit of a slight difference.
Oh yeah?
Not much at all. But very, very good.
And then now the hand rolled marjoram. Oh my. I can taste that marjoram much more.
Yeah.
I can taste something much more.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I just could taste a little bit of difference, but yeah, it was good.
Reminds me of Cleveland.
Yeah.
So while we're waiting for the casing to soak up and be pliable, soft enough to use, we're gonna put the meat in the refrigerator, and we got them labeled rolled and sprinkled for the marjoram difference. I'm sure some of you have been noticing that we've got the Polish national flag up in the kitchen, so we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Or at least remember what we're doing.
It's a problem.
It's usually a problem. So our casings are almost ready to be loaded. So I'm going to set up the machine to load it. First you're going to take your piece that goes on there, put it at 45 and then turn it up and it locks in. You're going to put your auger inside there. And then we're going to put the tube. So these casings will slip over that tube, and then inside we'll run the sausage. So you put that on there like that, and then lock it on with a nut. Your machine may be slightly different. Oops. Tighten that nut up, and you want to lube up the tube and get it wet before you start sliding on the sausage. And of course this will go on top, and then we will put the meat in and then use the plunger to plunge the meat down. So let's see if I can load up this tube. So what we're going to do is just put it all on there. And I'm going to put a bunch of feet. I don't know if I can do this with rubber gloves on. We'll find out. So I'm trying to find the hole. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so it's like that. Then you just keep feeding it back. I'm going to get some more water on there. And I'm going to scoop this over here so we have an angle like this. Yeah, I'm going to have to get rid of this glove because I can't get a grip on it. There you go. So you want to keep that funnel looking portion of the casing on the outside there. So you're going to stream it on pretty straight. And you just got to load up a bunch. Because we're probably going to do about 20 to 25 feet of sausage, and we'll break them, do the twisting, and then we'll break them in different parts. If you do break the casing here, you want to start over and delineate completely where your casing broke, so you don't want any holes in your casing at all. Streams right on. Oh, and that's our beeper. Oh yeah, one secret ingredient is we put in some squirrel meat. Not really. I'm just kidding. Just because we're from Oklahoma doesn't mean we eat wild squirrels. We only eat domesticated ones. So the first set of meat we're going to do is the rolled or non-rolled. Is it the sprinkled or?
This is sprinkled.
Sprinkled, all right, so we're going to do the sprinkled. So we're going to put some meat in there, we're going to get some coming out of the tube here, and then we're going to stop it. All right, stop. got something coming out of there. I'm just going to pinch that off, put that back up there. And we'll pull this out, and I'm going to tie a knot. Just a regular old granny knot. And I'm going to tie it twice for good measure. And then so I got some air in there. Not too much. A little bit of air in there. That's going to be a problem in the first piece, but that's usually what happens. Alright, let's go ahead and keep loading. I'll do about 6-inch pieces. I'm going to pinch it and twist it about 5 times. Try and keep it cylindrical. Try to keep these pieces there in a line so I can twist the whole thing.
I'm going to stop it in a second. Okay?
Keep your tubing or keep your casing taut. Not that tight. So I was keeping these in line so I could twist the whole meat, and then always twist over to the right. Just keep that consistent. You can do it to the left as long as you do it the same way every time. Well, we finally got the last bit cased up, and we had a little patty left over. And it is 4 o'clock. So we've been at it for 3 hours, and we've got them all cased up. Now we have to boil. Alright, so now it's boil time. We're going to boil these for 5 minutes, then simmer them, and we got them in these Ziploc freezer bags. So we're going to bring this water up to a boil and let it boil for 5 minutes, and then simmer for 25 minutes. And we've been simmering for 25 minutes, so now we're going to turn off the heat, and we're going to let these sausages sit in the hot water. You can see here, got some leakage in one of the bags. Nice tongue just will not disengage there. And the next step, we'll take them out and put them in the cast iron fryer and fry them up. So we'll see what time it is. As you can see, it is 5:15, so we've been at this for 4 hours and 15 minutes, and we just got about 20 more minutes of frying them in the fry pan, and that'll be it. Alright, we got them boiled and simmered. Boiled 5 minutes, simmered for 25 minutes, and we got the rolled marjoram version there and the sprinkled marjoram version over here in these two bags and 2 bags here. Now we're going to put them into the cast iron skillet and brown them, and we're not adding butter or anything to the skillet. It is just an empty skillet. We're going to be at medium heat probably. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that to medium, because this flame's pretty high compared to other ovens, stovetops. And we'll see you on the browning side.
Here's my new sweatshirt. I probably should have just got a large too. This is big.
Nice. Lightfoot grooves. Look
Yeah.
at that.
Is that what he does?
That's what he does. That's my boy.
He looks like a cop to me. Gangster cop.
Heard you were selling some of that crack cocaine.
Just marjoram.
Turn those sausages.
I've been turning. So we settled down on the heat on this particular stove top to medium. And got them sizzling and tried a sample over here and they taste good.
I hope I put good enough.
We've got a couple more bags to cook after this. So we did end up adding a little bit of vegetable oil, help them cook, and they just need to be browned for like a minute and a half on each side. That's about it. And we're just below medium on the heat, but this stove is a little bit, the flame's a little bit higher than average, I think. That's the way it's going. And here we are. We got them done, and I've tasted them, and they are much moister than before, and the taste is almost perfect. Just maybe a little bit more moist. I'm thinking maybe 15% low on moisture, but other than that, these are fantastic.
That's really good.
You like that?
Oh yeah,
You must be part Polish or something.
that must be. That's really good.
The cool kids are in the living room.
How's that taste?
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you want to eat it like every day?
No.
Yeah, you don't have enough Polish blood in you.
No. How much not?
So folks, thanks for watching. And for me, Steve, and my sister Jeannie,
See ya. Bye.
we'll be seeing you again some other year. And we'll do the Polish kitchen in Oklahoma again. We'll try for the 6th time and see if we can get it just right. Later.
Jeszcze Polska jest